Hussein, 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 Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Assalamu मज़लूम हुसैन ये जलती रेती पे करबला के ये फातिमा के बैन मेरे बेकस मेरे प्यासे मेरे तन्हा हुसैन شهيد كربلا أحرق منك الخباء يا صريعا في العراء يا وريث الاتقياء يا سليل الأنبياء حسين 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 This was the ultimate stand. You gave your neck, you gave your life, but you did not give your hand without
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين خصوصا سيدي ومولاي أبي الفضل العباس واخته زينب جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. The poet Haydar al-Qazzaz comes and describes the relationship between Fatima Zahra alayhi salam and Imam al-Hussein, upon which Fatima Zahra is narrated to have been present, or in the poetic narrations and the poetic license, it's as if Fatima Zahra is on the plains of Karbala and Imam al-Hussein is responding to Fatima Zahra, specifically when it comes to her request to Sayyidah Zainab. ماذا أعمل come and see what they have done. As I stand in this land, I pray that you come soon. I need you here, a mother's has kept to tend to all my wounds. Mother, I am alone. Come and see what they have done. Mother, are you proud that I gave all that I have? Your last request, she kissed my chest, and now she cries in fear. By my side, the time has come. I see you waiting there. As I fall to the ground, you catch me in your arms. Leave me be. Help Zainab. Her screams I cannot bear. Mother, just like you, my ribs were broken too. Mother, did you see what Shimon has done to me? Mother, are you proud that I gave all that I have? Mother, I'm alone. Come and see what they have done.
وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi. Welcome to our first episode of Verses of Love. Inshallah, tonight we will be discussing the importance of reviving Muharram, the importance of reviving Majalis, the importance and potentially how we prepare and how we set our mind in welcoming this month. Mullah Ali, Jazakallah khair jaza. That was absolutely beautiful. First of all, may Allah bless the poet, and may Allah bless you and your efforts and your voice, inshallah. And you know, that really reminded me of the famous Arabic lines. يما يم حسن لي تعالي وشوفي كربلاء ايش سوت بحالي. يا يما بقينا من غير والي. Oh my mother, come to me and see what Karbala has done to me. I am left with no brothers around me. And then she replies to her, يما يا زينب أنا عنك مو بعيدة، إلي 3 أيام ساكنة البيدة، أنا شفت الشمر من حز وريدة. Oh my daughter Zainab, I am not far away. It's been 3 days where I have been on the plains of Karbala, and I saw till the maqtal of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Jazakallah khair al-jaza. Mullah Rashid, salam alaikum. How are you doing, Habibi? Okay, inshallah. It's very good to see you. I actually want to ask you a question. Did you manage to watch the change of the flags today?
I did actually.
How did you feel?
Yeah, goosebumps, if I'm being honest, because it's like, obviously we've gone from a time of like celebration to all of a sudden we're now mourning. And do you know what it was? It was while I was watching it, it was just hearing in the background the chants of Labbaika Ya Hussein. Like it was proper giving me goosebumps. Subhanallah, it was something really
Subhanallah.
incredible.
It really does echo, doesn't it, Mullah?
It does, yeah. I mean, everyone kind of really looks forward to that moment because that just signals the start of the mourning period. Because you know, when you see on social media and Instagram, some people actually kind of have a countdown to Muharram. So they even commemorate the time that Imam Hussein leaves Medina, and there's a majlis that's created for him leaving Medina and reaching certain milestones. And so the countdown kind of began 6, 7, maybe 8 months ago. But then the official changing of the flag really signifies two things: the start of the mourning period, but also remembering Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah Sharif, who is mourning with the mourners. Because I sometimes get confused with the colours, but I think it's red normal days. However, it's changed to black, signalling that this person needs to be avenged, and he is the one that's going to avenge Karbala, Imam Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala.
Inshallah, we pray for the hastening of his reappearance, inshallah. Do you know what, Mullah? Actually, when I come to prepare for Muharram, you know, sometimes you do need to set yourself in a specific mindset. So obviously, I've spent, for example, time preparing my Masa'ib recitations, etc. But then when it comes to the changing of the flag, I don't know, something about it just changes everything. So I would sit down, I would make sure to watch it, and I'll give it my undivided attention. I'll forget about my majlis for a second, just leave it all to the side. And it really does put you into a mindset, prepares you for your majalis. And subhanallah, straight away, the moment you see that flag rising, it's as if the atmosphere changes. And we're so many miles away, like we live in London. But subhanallah, the atmosphere changes, the mood changes, everything changes. Actually, I was wondering, I'll actually ask Mullah Rashid first, if you don't mind. How do you prepare for welcoming Muharram?
I think I'll give probably the most cliche answer, but it's just probably just listening to latmiyas and just preparing basically for that morning period, I guess. Because obviously, like I said before earlier, you know, we're listening to nasheeds and we're in a very happy mood. But obviously, when you change that and you're now listening to latmiyas and masa'ibs and lectures, it proper changes the...
On that point, it's difficult because you know that you have Muharram coming up, so there's majalis that we have to prepare for, and then there's poetry that you have to prepare, and then your mindset has to think, well, I need to live this poem, I have to breathe this poem, I have to really be intertwined with its meaning, and so naturally you kind of become affected by the poetry, but at the same time you're still preparing for your current majalis, your current programs, be it the celebrations, as Mullah mentioned, especially Eid al-Ghadir comes up 2 weeks before Muharram. So the height of excitement and joy and passion for the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam reaches such a high, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later, we have to get into the mind frame of, you know, mourning and preparing for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. The changing of the flag cements this, almost like a nail in the woodwork, in the structure, the last nail saying to you, okay, now it's begun. This is the time of mourning, this is the time of change. Anything that you've thought about in terms of your experiences, anything that you are worried about, anything that you wanted to change over the last couple of months, now is the time to change. Because you're in that mourning period, you're connecting to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. When you're connecting to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam with the tears and your heart, change usually happens. Because it's easier to change when you're, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but sometimes when you're remorseful about something, or during, for example, Layl al-Qadr, and it's a really sad moment, sins, and you know, the problems that you might have, and the anxiety that you might have over certain things about life. When you cry, it almost gives you like this sense of relief and a dedication to change. So the changing of the flag almost does signify to us as followers of Imam Hussein to start that change as well. Whatever change that you wanted to do in your life, be it prayer, be it salah, be it relationships with your families, for example, be it life itself, that change of the flag can signify and can be a boost for your change in life.
Do you know, actually it's interesting that you mentioned Eid al-Ghadir as well, because there are some scholars that when they remember Eid al-Ghadir, for some of them it's a mourning period. In the sense that they say this is the start of the madhlumiyya of Ahlul Bayt.
Yeah.
From this day, so I remember specifically Sayyid Jasim Tuwarjawi, may Allah bless his soul, where he said this is truly the start of the oppression of Ahlul Bayt, where people started showing their true colors, etc. And of course then Muharram comes and Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam stands in front of them. He says, why do you fight me? Is it because I have oppressed you? Is it because I have changed the sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, etc.? He gives them multiple reasons. They say to him, no. So why are you fighting me? نُقَاتِلُكَ بُغْضًا لِأَبِيكِ. We are fighting you in hatred towards your father. And this is not far, because they did the same at the door of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salatu wasalam, where they said that I felt Fatima behind the door. The second himself, he says, I felt Fatima behind the door. أَنَّتْ She moaned a moan. كِدْتُ أَنْ أَرِقَّ لَهَا. I was going to leave her alone. لَكِنِّي ذَكَرْتُ عَلِيًّا وَسَيْفُهُ وَوُلُوهُ بِدِمَاءِ الْعَرَبِ. But I remembered Ali and his sword in who? The blood of the Arabs. But which Arabs? Of course the pagan Arabs. فَعَصَرْتُهَا تِلْكَ الْعَصْرَةِ.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah, the hatred does show. And then when you come to the dam'a, to the tear, to the crying emotional part, this is actually one of the most important parts of reviving Muharram, because something in the heart. And this is why you find that with many, and subhanAllah, the link is amazing, that this aqeedah that we have, that we cement through tears, is actually stable. And if you find that the people that are of that school of thought have a stronger jurisprudential side as well, and knowledge, than other schools of thought. Because their aqeedah has been cemented, and the aqeedah is the start to your jurisprudence. Because without aqeedah there is no jurisprudence. Of course, fiqh ahkam, there's many fiqh ahkam that are important. However, without aqeedah, fiqh ahkam would be put to the side. So inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to be amongst the mourners of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, especially when the Imams would say, in kunta bakiyan li shay' fabki al-Hussein. If you were to cry for something, then cry for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Mullah Rashid,
Yes.
I want to ask you, in general, away from preparation for majalis, how do you feel Muharram has an effect on you?
That's a good question. I'd say probably more of the kind of emotional side of things. Because obviously every day we're going to majalis 10 nights straight. We're hearing different masaibs of different personalities. And I think that obviously has an effect on you. For example, if we look at, Abu Fadhil Abbas's night, talking about what happened to him, how his family, were on that night, it's not something normal. So I think personally, it has a very emotional effect on me, and it's a thing where it's like, you're in that zone now, and it's just, Hussein.
Mullah Ali, you've got an amazing son, 5 years of age.
Alhamdulillah.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him and allow him to follow in your footsteps and your father's footsteps in service of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. Do you use specific ways to prepare him for this time?
Yeah, this is a very good point actually, because ever since, inshallah, I pray that those who aren't married to get married, and who don't have kids, inshallah, to have kids. You begin to see the mourning period in Muharram quite differently, because it's not just you yourself and your connection to Imam Hussein. You now have a responsibility to give that commitment to Imam Hussein and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to your children, the same way that our parents did to us. One of the ways that our parents prepared us as the next generation to mourn Imam Hussein alayhi salam was to attend the majalis and to go into the mosque. Whether we understood what was saying or not, it's the environment that shaped our worldview, and that environment was Muharram, Imam al-Hussein. You dedicate that 10 nights to Imam al-Hussein. When I grew up, it was, quite strict in that sense, traditional, like, no TV, you're wearing black all the time. The typical things that you would do during the year, you put it to one side because you're dedicating your life now to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So I'm trying to do kind of the same things with my children. And so making them attend the majalis, even though they may be a nuisance to others. But actually, on that note, I'm not sure if you guys saw this post on Instagram. It kind of went viral because it was a letter addressed to the elders and those who attend the majalis to be patient with the parents that bring their children to the mosque and to bring them to the majalis. Reason being is that in order for us to be able to make sure that our youth, the ones that have grown up, attend the majalis, they need to start young. But when they start young, the parents that bring their children are always seen in a different light. And they're seen as, oh no, that he's brought his kid here and it's going to be a nuisance, he's going to make so much noise and he's going to interrupt the majalis. But at the same time, these kids are still finding their way in the world. And it's important because we don't want to say, oh no, why are our youth not attending the programs? Well, they were kicked away or put to one corner or put to one side when they were growing up because the parents felt like, well, I don't want to be a nuisance to other people. And so we urge, I urge all the organizations out there to have a section dedicated to the young children, right? Not to name names, but I've seen majalis these days, especially the English majalis in the UK, and in London specifically, every single majlis has a kids club. And that kids club is dedicated to arts and crafts, be it poetry or lectures, only for the children, so that they can have an understanding. And when it comes to the time of masa'ib, by the way, when it comes to the time of masa'ib and the latum or the eulogies, they said, here, live the life, live the environment of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So yeah, as parents I try to do that, but the language has to change a lot because I have to tell them, who is Imam Hussein. It has to be very, very simple for them to understand. I don't want to complicate the story too much, but Imam Hussein is good. This is what he did, this is his sister, this is his father, this is his son, this is what happened to him. I use a lot of emotional words because they're like, oh, he was, this person was a bad man, this person was a good man. You have to use certain terminologies for them to be able to relate to the story.
Yeah, sometimes it's also good to use the terminology they're used to. Obviously in nursery, reception, they're used to specific types of wordings. And it is not wrong to basically change some sort of wordings just to bring it closer to the child at all. And in fact, on that point, today earlier in our majlis we were discussing identity. And one of the, or not one of the points, but my conclusion to the talk at the time was that Muharram is the perfect time to strengthen our identity. So I separated our identity into three. Our relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we understand that we are servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that we must always be in submission to Him and in worship to Him. Number two, our relation to the Imam, that we must recognize that there's an Imam that we follow and we will be called by that Imam. So we need to be careful of who that Imam is in our heart, not our tongue. And finally, our relation to the community, where we need to strengthen our bonds, be caring towards each other, and always remember each other in whatever one needs. Then Muharram would be the perfect example for that. It strengthens your relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It builds a stronger relationship with the Imam. Both Imam Hussein alayhi salam as an individual, and also Imam al-Hujjat al-Muntadhar, Ajal Taf'al al-Sharif. Especially if we start to comprehend and understand the idea. And do you know what? Sometimes when this is mentioned on Manabir, people think that the lecturer is just saying that for the sake of making someone shed a tear. But reality, it's not. Reality is, if we believe that the Imam is in occultation, it means that he is present, but covered from our eyes. Which means that potentially, if this is counted as a majlis, inshallah, the Imam would be present. Meaning that every organization that does a majlis, it's not their majlis. It's not like I'm going to that person's majlis. No, that person becomes what we call the wasiyat. The middleman. Between who? Sahibul Aza. The one who is closest to the Imam in relation is who? Imam al-Hujjah. When we go, for example, to a Fatiha and we want to pay respects to someone, you'll usually find if the son is part, would be there. The father, the eldest son would be at the door. In this case, who would be?
The closest relationship.
So Sahibul Zaman would surely be present by the door. Surely. And welcoming the mourners of his grandfather, Abu Abdullah Hussein. When we come to understand that, then we understand that this truly will strengthen our relationship to the Imam, because we'll be in presence of the Imam Ajal Al-Fajr Sharif. And lastly, our relation to the community. And here, in regards to, for example, children, you mentioned, for example, kids clubs and stuff like that. They grow up around these individuals who all share similar values, which is the values of Abu Abdullah, the values of Rasulullah, the values of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And truly that is beautiful, because as they grow up, as we've all seen, that when we grow up, we remember our friends from Majalis and we become closer to them, even if we lose contact with them during school time. After we finish that period of, I want to basically do my own thing, etc., after we've done that part, we end up going back to that anyway. Because, why? Because we feel a sense of belonging to that. And this is another important part of reviving Muharram. Mullah Rashid.
Yes.
I heard you have a qasida for us today.
Yes, inshallah.
Inshallah. I would love to hear it with your beautiful voice, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Bismillah. Do you wanna...
Yes. Ya Allah.
We'll perform a salawat, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
My heart has been bruised under the horse's hooves, but for the sake of Allah, Karbala, I'd still choose to answer to your call. Ya Hussein, I would crawl over mountains and over hills just to be with you until my ears rest. I will beat the pain of my chest until my Imam is at rest. I will beat the pain of my chest only to serve you, only to serve you. My heart has been bruised under the horse's hooves, but for the sake of Allah, Karbala, I'd still choose to answer to your call. Ya Hussein, I would crawl over mountains and over hills just to be with you until my Imam is at rest. I will beat the pain of my chest until my Imam is at rest. I will beat the pain of my chest only to serve you, only to serve you. Zainab cried, brother, my heart broke into pieces when I saw Shimmer sitting on your beloved chest. My back broke as I heard the call for the horses. Allah knows I couldn't withstand the pain from what I witnessed. How can my life go on when my Hussein has gone? Who will protect us on this dark and lonely night? Oh, the light of my eyes, they took you from my side. I will be longing for you until we reunite. I will complain to our Father about how your head was severed. I will complain to our Father about how your head was severed. Ya Hussein, I'll cry. Ya Hussein, I'll cry. My heart has been bruised under the horse's hooves, but for the sake of Allah, Karbala, I'd still choose to answer to your call. Ya Hussein, I would crawl over mountains and over hills just to be with you
Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Only to serve you, only to serve you. My beloved, when you left, our tents were burnt and they show no mercy to us as our rights were violated. And as we ran, they disregarded our sanctity and honor. What can I say? How on the streets of Sham we were paraded. Look at what they have done. Their evil has begun. Women and children were whipped and chased into a corner. By Allah, I cannot bear to see your head on a spear. Being away from you is the ultimate torture. Until we meet at Al-Kawthar, I won't enjoy drinking water. Until we meet at Al-Kawthar, I won't enjoy drinking water. Ya Hussein Master, Ya Hussein Master. Hey, my heart has been bruised under the horse's hooves. But for the sake of Allah, Karbala, I'd still choose to answer to your call. Ya Hussein, I would crawl over mountains and over hills just to be with you. Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Only to serve you, only to serve you. Zainab cried, brother, my heart broke into pieces when I saw Shimmer sitting on your beloved chest. My back broke as I heard the call for the horses. Allah knows I couldn't withstand the pain from what I witnessed. How can my life go on when my Hussein has gone? Who will protect us on this dark and lonely night? Oh, the light of my eyes, they took you from my side. I will be longing for you until we reunite. I will complain to our Father about how your head was severed. I will complain to our Father about how your head was severed. Ya Hussein, I'll cry. Ya Hussein, I'll cry. My heart has been bruised under the horse's hooves. But for the sake of Allah, Karbala, I'd still choose to answer to your call. Ya Hussein, I would crawl over mountains and over hills just to be with you. Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Until my Imam is at rest, I will beat the pain of my chest. Only to serve you, only to serve you. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت. طيب الله أنفاسك.
Can I ask, sorry Shaykhna, can I ask who the poet?
My older sister.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her the success to write many more beautiful poems.
Ilahi ameen.
And grant you the success to serve Abu Abdullah al-Hussein with your
Inshallah.
voice.
Inshallah.
And do you know what,
Inshallah.
actually, Mullah, because you've been reciting for quite a while now, and you've come across many different cultures, you've come across many different, for example, styles of recitation. And so each and every single culture and each and every single lahan, if you like, plays an integral part in shaping the majlis, in bringing the tea, in even preparation for the revival of Muharram.
Yeah, I mean, alhamdulillah, I'm reciting for 10 nights for an Iranian majlis. And the first thing that I noticed was that the nights that they commemorate certain personalities is totally different from the Iraqis. So tonight, as in today before the main majlis at 8 o'clock, I had to prepare a majlis for Muslim al-Aqil. So I was doing a musibah and a recitation for Muslim al-Aqil. And actually tomorrow I think they have arrived in Karbala. The third night they have Sayyid al-Ruqayya. But they have, for example, the 9th night is Abu Fadhil Abbas alayhi salam. And I think Al-Qasim comes after Ali al-Akbar. It may reflect what actually happened on the day. So Muslim al-Aqil being a couple of maybe weeks before Imam Hussein arrived in Karbala. And then arrive in Karbala and then say the Ruqayya. I'm not sure of the actual, why certain nights are commemorated in certain. For example, the Iraqi doesn't why. In the Iraqi sense, we have certain nights commemorated to, for example, the companions, and the Fadhil Abbas on night 6, and Ali Akbar's on night 9, for example. In any case, you're right in saying that I then have to adjust to the Iranian style. And so the Iranian style, as you know, is a bit faster than the Iraqi style, the traditional Iraqi style. But it needs to be done because that's how they connect in their culture to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. If I was to do something which is not their culture, although related to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, it won't resonate as well as if I do something that's closer to their culture. And so that, from my perspective anyway, I have to try and adjust. But to answer your question, for an Iraqi going to a traditional Iraqi majlis, I want to hear the traditional lines of poetry which my father is accustomed to and he's heard, and his father, all the way to, I don't know, God knows how long. But these lines of poetry have lived on through the ages because that's the culture that I'm used to. That's the tradition that I'm used to. And those words that you mentioned earlier on the show, these words, you hear every single year because it's part of the Iraqi way of commemorating Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
It's actually amazing because when you think about specific poetry, for example, you have the poetry of Sayyid al-Himyari, who was during the salam, and he would tell him that recite me poetry in honor of my grandfather Abu Abdullah, and he would say Umrur ala Jadath al-Hussein. That was from the time of Imam Sadiq. Then from the time of Imam Rida, Da'b al-Khuza'i would say مدارس آيات خلت من تلاوة ومهبط وحي مقفر العرصات, including the famous line أفاطم لو خلت الحسين مجدلا وقد مات عطشانا بشط فرات. Beautiful lines, Mullah Rashid, where Da'b al-Khuza'i during the time of Imam Rida is saying, "Oh Fatima, if you were to witness Hussein in the state that he was in again, إذن للطمت الخد فاطمة عنده." You would slap your cheek, "Oh Fatima," upon that sight. وأجريت دمع العين في الوجنات, and you would start shedding your tears upon your cheeks. Imam Rida at this point started slapping his head saying, "E wallah." Subhanallah. And this poem in itself, you will hear every single Muharram as well. What I'm interested in, actually, what made me think of it, was because I saw you, Mullah Rashid. Many of the poems that you recite, even the English ones specifically I'm talking about, the tune are very familiar to both of us. We grew up listening to those tunes. They're none other than Mullah Abbas bin Karbala's tunes, right? How come you went for that style?
So I've used many other people as well, like in terms of their tunes and so on. But personally for me, I think Mullah Basim's kind of voice and his style of recitation kind of suits me more. So I feel like if I were to use his tunes, I'd be able to get more out of a poem rather than, for example, his tune,
Can I interject and say how comes you've used the Iraqi way, for example?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question.
The slow type and that specific rhythm
Yeah.
is the traditional Iraqi
Yeah.
way. So is
Yeah, so for example, with this one, obviously this is a very famous latmiya
Yeah.
that we all know.
yeah.
And you know, we really wanted to do something on it, so that's
Yeah.
kind of why I picked that. But normally, it kind of just depends on, you know, the majlis or where I am or what I'm kind of doing, whether it's, for example, maybe a nazla or like
Okay.
just a muqaddama. It kind of just more varies, to be fair.
Yeah.
But like on today's occasion, it was just kind of, you know, this was
Like
a
a qasida.
qasida that I
Qasida.
thought, you know, I really
No,
wanted to recite.
like for example, is there a certain cultural way from where you're from that has commemorations and eulogies and latmiyat?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they're actually quite similar to kind of the Iraqi styles.
Oh, okay.
If you'd
Interesting.
say, yeah. So, for example, like the slow latmiya, a lot of the time, that's kind of the style that, you know, back home, latmiya is done.
Okay.
SubhanAllah, that's
So,
very interesting.
yeah, so it's quite an interesting one.
That's
Do you
amazing.
potentially know a couple lines, like literally two
Yeah.
lines?
Oh, we're putting you on the spot.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Mullah.
Do you know what it is? I know
not,
it,
it's
but
fine.
I don't know it by heart.
Yeah,
That's what. So I need the
Yeah,
words.
no, that's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting actually, because this is also one of those things why it's important to revive the month of Muharram, because the different styles that we use, and like for example, if I was to focus on the Iraqi at least, because that's where I grew up, that's where for example, the Karbala'i, you're waiting for that Maymar, you're waiting for the shot,
Yeah.
you're waiting for that.
Yeah.
And for example, the Najafi, if you don't hit Led Degat on the day of Fadhil Abbas, that means the Radud's getting kicked out of the majlis. Like it's certain things about them that truly keeps that majlis alive. And subhanallah, there's this general ruling that goes that anything that helps in keeping the message of Imam Hussein alive, and anything that, for example, of course, as long as it does not do any harm to the Imam or his status, is something that would be good to share and to do and to do stuff like that. So it's actually quite amazing to see. And then I've actually had the pleasure of reciting at Pakistani centers over the past few years, where they have a complete different way of commemorating. And the one that really struck me, because we're used to waking up like literally one eye closed, one eye open to go to the maqtal.
Oh yeah.
Whereas the Pakistani center, we're doing it after dhuhr.
All right.
And that was very interesting for me. That was a first for me. Have you experienced something like that?
Yeah. As in, I've done a maqtal at night before.
That's very
only,
interesting, actually.
Because it was in Dearborn, America, and the majority of the people, don't get me wrong, they did it in the morning, so between 9 and 10, 10 and 11, that kind of time. And you're right, because you know the whole night was spent in kind of commemoration and then waking up to get to the maqtal. Sometimes it's a bit difficult. So we thought that, you know, the youth come in the evening. There's about 900 of them anyway. Why don't we? They perhaps missed out on earlier in the day because there wasn't many English ones. So that's the reason why I done it in the evening. Otherwise, you're right. Most of the time it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I've never had anything in between or after 1 o'clock, for example.
Sahih, but at the end of the day, all these different ways of commemorating, and the more you see the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam expanding across the world, the more ways of commemorating that you find, and these are all parts of the things that enlivens the cause of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So it is actually quite interesting from that perspective. One other thing that I heard in your latmiya, just to serve you, servitude. Mullah, I'm going to give this one to you. Of course, serving, we can always say we are serving, we can always say I'm a khadim, but what quality should we be aspiring for?
So a lot of people see, for example, when they look at the mosque, there's different roles and responsibilities that a lot of people feel like, oh, this one is more of a khadim than that one. This one is not really liked. I want to be in the limelight. I want people to notice my khidmah sometimes. But look, the criteria of a khadim is exactly what Imam Hussein wants you to be. I could be a khadim by cleaning. I could be a khadim by writing articles. I could be a khadim by lobbying. The khidmah isn't specifically to the majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Although in those 10 nights, don't get me wrong, in those 10 nights, clear everything that you have, clear your schedule and make sure it's totally committed to the majalis. And just being there, it could be as little as picking up certain litter, for example, or it could be reciting on the minbar. But essentially the criteria has always been akhlaq is number one, salah, for example, everything. You don't want to, for example, Imam Hussein died for salah. Imam Hussein stood up in the battlefield in the middle of a raging battle, and he still made time for his salah. So if we're a khadim but our salah is not on point, then there's certain questions that needs to be asked about the actual intention of your servitude. Of course, we can try to be better, but the whole point is that whatever Imam Hussein alayhi salam stood for, the criteria is that for a khadim. So be it salah, be it the way that he speaks to his family members, the way he speaks to his enemies with compassion, by the way. It wasn't just animosity, it was more compassion. He felt sorry for his enemies, and he's trying to explain to them, look, don't do this. Time and time again, don't do this. I'm the grandson of the Prophet. You're going to be killing someone. It's going to be on your necks. So compassion, for example. So there's always certain qualities. But the main thing is making yourself available and making yourself available for service within the mosque. I think that's the most important thing. Let's get into the majalis. We've had 2.5 years of the whole COVID situation. People have been away, and there's a thirst, I feel like, especially this year. Last year we had it as well, but last year was just coming out the whole COVID situation, so people are still umming and ahhing. Now this year, there's a real thirst to get back into the majalis, get back into the full flow and the full swing of the commemoration, the 10 nights of commemorating Abu Abdullah al-Hussein.
You know, on that different, for example, ways of khidmah that you mentioned, a famous poem comes to mind. أحضر مجلسك يا حسين خليني. Allow me to attend your majlis, O Abu Abdullah. وخلها الدمع وخلها توديني خلها تجيبني الدمعة وتوديني. And let my tear be the one that would bring me to the majlis and take me away from the majlis. أحضر مجلسك خليني يا مولاي. O Master, allow me to attend your majlis. أسطر الأحذية لو شيل بوش الشاي. I will put the shoes in the shoe rack, or I will pick up the tea, the صينية, what would you call it?
The tray.
The tray of tea. لو أكنس المجلس, لو أوزع الماء, or I will hoover the majlis, or I will give out water. واليلعن يزيد يصيح لي انطيني. And the one who performs la'na upon Yazid is like the one who is telling me, give me some water. So it's honestly amazing how you see that these different parts of khidmah, what do? They complete the majlis, they complete the revival aspect. And many times people might ask, for many other imams, we, for example, might revive 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But for Abu Abdullah, we're starting from the first night of Muharram up until the 10th, and then after that we commemorate even more, etc. And it's a valid question, why specifically for Abu Abdullah? So regardless of all the other aspects and the aqaidi aspects and all of that, I think one simple answer is more than enough, which is that we follow the sunnah of the infallibles. Where the infallibles were known that when they saw the crescent of Muharram, they would start to cry. They would wear their black clothing. And when the 10th day would come, according to Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam, that would be the day of the musibah of my father, the day of the calamity of my father, Imam al-Sadiq. And he says, هَذَا الْيَوْمُ الَّذِي قُتِلَ فِيهِ الْحُسَيْنِ. This is the day in which my grandfather, Abu Abdullah, was killed in. And this, of course, shows us why it is important for us to commemorate these days. You look at the Sabaya, for example, the captives, they would come back to the city of Medina. Sheikh al-Qummi would mention that they would constantly mourn Abu Abdullah. And because they were in constant mourning, Imam Zain al-Abidin was worried that they would start fainting or something would happen to them, because they were not even eating, because they would spend all that time mourning Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and this is where you get the narrations of Imam Hussein cooking for the majlis of Abu Abdullah. And honestly, this is one of the types of khidmah that many people do not get enough credit for, which is the people that make the food for the majalis. We tend to be very critical of the food. This needs salt, this needs that. But subhanAllah, they are doing the khidmah that Imam Zainul Abidin was doing during the time of majalis. So as you said, let us have some more compassion with these things. And do you know what? I would like to share a poem with you guys, inshallah, where the poet is talking to the crescent of Muharram as it has just appeared. O crescent of Muharram, how did you reappear? Is it not you that witnessed the children in fear? O crescent of Muharram, how do you shine so bright? Is it not you that witnessed Ashura's fight? O crescent of Muharram, how do you stand so tall? Is it not you that witnessed Abbas's fall? O crescent of Muharram, do you not feel ashamed? Are you not the one that witnessed Lady Zainab chained? O crescent of Muharram, with blood dye yourself in red, since on a spear you witnessed Hussein's head. Ajarakum Allah. On nights like these we are aiding Sahib al-Zaman in mourning for his grandfather Abu Abdullah. But we are also aiding a loving mother crying for her beloved son, and that is none other than Fatima al-Zahra. She is present in our majalis, inshallah. Imam al-Sadiq one time, he would be standing by the door of the majlis. When he sees one of his companions, he says to him, were you attending that majlis? He said to him, yes. How did you know we had that majlis? He said, when you entered, did you not feel like you tripped over a piece of clothing, a piece of garment? He said to him, yes, my master. He said, that piece of garment was mine. He said to him, why were you standing by the shoes? You should have sat at the center of the majlis. He would say to him, I was shy from my mother Zahra, for she was sitting at the center of that majlis, mourning son أبا عبد الله. أنا الوالد والقلب لهفان، والله ودور عزبني وين ما كان. أنا الوالد المذبوح ابنها، وطول الدهر ما في الحزن، والله مصيبة ويشيب الراس يا اسمينها.
Why do I feel heartbroken, frightened and tense? It's as if I hear screaming and smell burning tents. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. As the Shaykh mentioned, we are also remembering that Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah Sharif is lamenting on these nights. Why do I feel heartbroken, frightened and tense? It's as if I hear screaming and smell burning tents. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments.
Why do I feel heartbroken, frightened and tense? It's as if I hear screaming and smell burning tents. Why do I feel heartbroken, frightened and tense? It's as if I hear screaming and smell burning tents. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if the heavens have been shrouded in black. It's as if Muhammad's son has a broken back. It's as if the foundations of Mecca have cracked. The light of God surrounded by devil's attack. It's as if love itself was surrounded by men, and they slashed and stabbed at it until it was gone, scattered on the plains of Taf. Love is but remnants. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if my master Imam laments. It's as if smoke covers the earth and all turns dark, as if all has flooded and men destroyed the ark. 'Cause beyond the hand that lit the tents with a spark, and on the cheek of left a red mark. I see women crying, cloaked as if they're statues, turned to stone by sorrow here on Karbala's dunes, as they're charred and ruined by the smoke of the tents. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if the moon is now broken into two, and watching the daughters cry, Abbas, where are you? We watch the enemy flee as your sword you drew, but they said your flag fell. Oh, uncle, is this true? They said that they tore your hand away from his wrist, When we saw your flag fell, all hope ceased to exist. And Ruqayya prostrated with her small back bent. It's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if my Imam Mahdi laments. It's as if Hussein cries out, Allahu Akbar. Oh Lord, help me pull this spear out from my Akbar. It's as if Hussein cries out, Allahu Akbar. Oh Lord, help me pull this spear out from my Akbar. His hand gripped on the spear as nothing else matters. As he pulls, he hears the ribs of his son shatter. With a broken heart I hear his trembled voice cry, how many ribs must I see break in one lifetime? With a broken heart I hear his trembled voice cry, how many ribs must I see break in one lifetime? As blood flows from the last remnant of Ahmed's scent, it's as if my master Imam Mahdi laments.
Many thanks to the poet, Nouri Sardar.
जब दोनों हाथ कट चुके पानी के वास्ते, किस तरह खाक पर अब्बास ज़ीन से, गाजी का हाल सोच के रोता है दिल मेरा। रोज़ाए हुसैन
शान और करीम ये करते हैं इल्तिजा।
صوت النحر صاحب فخر، هذا شهر محرم، نوقف خدم نرفع علم، وحي الحزن وحي الحزن تكلم، لون السواد توشحت كل الضماير، راية محرم رفعت جروح المنابر، بقلوبنا تظل النار على حسين لنهابه، نقسم بالزكية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، صرخة رافضية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية، لمان من قول وفعل هسه وقبل وعدنا، من اللطم ما ننحرم، نكسر عظم صدرنا، نكسر عظم صدرنا، سلمنا جنة بكربلا انكسرت عظامه، ننعم صيبته ونطبر الهامه، هاي دمانا والله سوى يطيح بعتابه، لو نوقع سويه منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، هذا عزانا للموت على حسين ومصابه، صرخة رافضية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية، كلمة وعد عن معتقد يبقى عهد عزانك، حب كربلاء هو الصلة من بدل بدمانا، من بدل بدمانا، تبقى المجالس خالدة اليوم القيامة، واللي خدم من فاطمة يحصل وسامة، عاشور شهر الأحزان مع حسين وأصحابه، واحنا لها الرزية منعوف العزية، منعوف العزية، هذا عزانا للموت على
Join me, Minhal al-Khafaki, for this special live series, this Muharram, on Imam Hussein TV.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Join us every night as we relive the tragedies of the day of Ashura.
Remembering such personalities like Habib ibn Mudahir and Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi,
The likes of Ali al-Akbar and Qasim, the son of Imam al-Hassan,
Abil Fadhil Abbas and Ali al-Asghar, but above all remembering the tragedies of Imam Hussein alayhi salam on that fateful day, on the day of Ashura, in the land of Karbala, through poetry, recitations, masa'ib, and narrating the story of Karbala daily, inshallah.
Join us on Verses of Love for the first 10 nights of the month of Muharram.
I yearn to go visit the land of the kings, dreaming to soar around if I had wings. I'm shamed by my absence, so I'll cling to your.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات، إلى أرواح الشهداء السعداء، رحم الله من يقرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات.
With more and more victims of war and poverty, the Middle East has seen a surge in patients seeking medical aid. Iraq alone has 2.4 million people without access to any form of medical assistance. In Afghanistan, due to the lack of funding and devastating conflict, the health service is at breaking point. Imam Hussein Charity aims to help provide a better future for these impoverished patients, aiding them with finances for their prescriptions as well as dialysis of their kidneys. You can help our brothers and sisters with purchases of prescriptions for just £20, and for £200 help a patient with a dialysis procedure. To donate or for more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com.
You know, I once heard someone say community is much more than belonging to something. It's about doing something together. That makes belonging matter. I know masjid presidents have a number of challenges they need to deal with, but I never thought I'd be dealing with this so soon. Alhamdulillah, it's a good thing. Right now we're in one of the most exciting times as we extend the masjid that you all know and love.
I'm pretty sure that most people in England have been to our humble and welcoming Jamaat, so I won't go into all the particulars of why this project is much needed. All the details can be found on our website, so please do make sure you have a look.
This project will inshallah deliver an overflow facility during busy periods, remove noise pollution in the main hall, an area for members to socialize outside the main hall, an open space desk area for the management committee, toilet area further away from the main hall and prayer room, a newer and bigger AV room, a bigger ladies hall, a safe place for the children between ladies entrance and all Al-Zahra Center.
And there's more. On the second floor of the Al-Zahra Center, we will have the Fadhil gym, which will host its own showers and lockers for ladies and gents. We're also building an amazing chill-out zone for all our youth, which will be kitted out with everything we need. I mean, for me, this project is all about making the mosque a one-stop shop. I mean, when the Prophet had his mosque in Medina, it wasn't just about learning, it was meant to be a one-stop shop for everyone to come and do as they please and have everything in that place. So they don't need to go elsewhere to find other enjoyment. They can find it all at the place of not just worship, but fun as well.
We've received some amazing support from World Federation and COAGE, and now we need your help. So far we have raised £330,000 and we need only £520,000 more.
We could sit here all day and tell you the benefits of you donating. I could say that those who spend in the way of Allah is just like a grain that produces 7 ears, each ear having 100 grains. And Allah multiplies the reward for whom He wills. But I won't. We all know that hadith. Instead, I want to show you what this project means for our community, for your community.
Can't wait to have a safe and clean place to hang out with my friends and beat them at FIFA.
Now there's 2 ways to support our project. Number 1 is that you contribute towards it. And number 2, buy a raffle ticket. You know, the raffle prizes are absolutely amazing. Top prize, 2 Ziyarat tickets to Imam Hussein. Second prize, a £5,000 kitchen voucher. We've got so many other prizes. For further information, do contact myself or simply go to our website. Just think about it this way. What would Hazrat Abbas say if he knew that you donated in his name?
This Muharram, Imam Hussein TV invites you for the journey of a lifetime. Wherever you may be in this world, experience the sound of Aza, the sight of the golden domes, and the energy of love. Witness a 24-hour live stream from the holy city of Karbala throughout the 10 days of Muharram, exclusively on Imam Hussein TV, your gateway to Karbala.
king of a knife edged to he who gave his head. I walk with tears in my eye, walking to you what's pain. Your Zainab walked in chains of feet, don't you complain, walk on. Am I worthy to call your name? Do you even know who I am? My deeds had me veiled from you, my Mawla. You are in a whole different realm. Prayers on you rain like the rain. I am but a mist in the rain, aren't I? My tears, I lost count my years.
Homelessness is a global issue that needs to be addressed, and unfortunately, our brothers and sisters are also victims to this struggle. Recent figures show how homelessness has reached figures into the millions. Some people have homes, but structural damages to their properties make it difficult to seek refuge and protection from the weather. Iraq has 1.2 million homeless people, where Afghanistan has a staggering 4.6 million homeless. Living conditions have a significant role in one's physical and mental health. Imam Hussein Charity seeks to help those victims who have structural damages to their homes, as well as those with inadequate housing, with our housing schemes. The housing schemes are created to help house displaced families or those who cannot continue to live in their damaged homes. Brand new habitable spaces are created to house victims of homelessness, to give them the best head start into rebuilding their lives. For those who have significant structural damages to their property, Imam Hussein Charity aims to help provide laborers and building materials to fix any leaks, damages, damp, as well as health and safety hazards, to provide the safest place for families to reside. Help save a home and families. Just £200 will help fix damages, and only £1,500 will go towards constructing a house. For more information, visit www.imamhusseincharity.com.
I wish I never did. My life was him, my heart knew him. Now all it knows is all the tears I shed. On grief I lie, our son has died. Tell me, Hussein, of our son's tears, bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was saved, now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow, and now I cry, our son has died. For our son the swords were thirsty for the blood of this pure youth. By God, this blood flows throughout me. All it knows is good and fair. Tell me, oh Hussein, my husband, did he love me till
his death, did he cry for leaving my side? Tears flowing till his last breath. My heart's poisoned, my grief weakened. Now I wish that my heart I could throw away. To me hasten, bring me my son. Let me say my farewell to my son's body. And tell me why our son has died. Tell me Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our days. And now I cry, our son has died. I walk through these scattered bodies, crushed and torn by my feet. How many mothers weep on them, wishing with death they would meet. As I search for my son's body in this unbearable heat, the sons they cradle in their arms, their empty bodies they breathe. They are crying, their sons holding. How I wish that my dead son I will not hold. My heart's breaking, my soul aching. When a son dies, the mother should not be told. In my two eyes, our son has died. Tell me Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was saved. Now our tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our days. And now I cry, our son has died. As I stand lonely in the tent, you bring me my son's body. My heart shatters upon this sight. Our dead son, your arms carry. We sit beside his torn body, and your tears you shed with me. We watched him blossom, watched him grow. Now our son we will bury. Tell me. Under the ground, fate's turned around. Before his mother had passed away, he makes no sound to the earth bound. He sleeps under the dust, far away from me. Under the skies, our son has died. Tell me Hussein, of our son's pain. Bring back to us what they have taken away. Tell me, our son was saved. Tell me, tears rain. Now we have nothing but sorrow in our day. Tell me, and now I cry. Our son has died.
I yearn to go visit the land of the kings, dreaming to soar around if I had wings. I'm shamed by my absence, so I'll cling to your memories, your memories. I yearn to go visit the land of the kings, dreaming to soar around if I had wings. I'm shamed by my absence, so I'll cling to your memories, your memories. Karbala, I will fill your river with my river of tears. Karbala, when I'm on your ground, I cry away my fears. Karbala, I pray that my service will always be sincere. Karbala, I will fill your river with my river of tears. Karbala, when I stand on your ground, I cry away my fears. Karbala, I pray that my service will always be sincere. I've longed to be near your shrine in this world, to be by your side where angels converge, searching the path beside you where I'll serve you in both worlds, you in both worlds. I've longed to be near your shrine in this world, to be by your side where angels converge, searching the path beside you where I'll serve you in both worlds, you in both worlds. I must stray, call me to you, Master, as my heart bleeds in pain. I must stray, cover my bristle with your precious holy shade. I must stray, call me to you before my life withers away. I must stray, call me to you, Master, as my heart bleeds in pain. I must stray, cover my bristle with your precious holy shade. I must stray, call me to you before my life withers away. I cry for the invite of the hopeful. I'm knocking on the door of the humble. The cure to my needs, please don't forget me when you summon, when you summon. I cry for the invite of the hopeful. I'm knocking on the door of the humble. The cure to my needs, please don't forget me when you summon, when you summon. Ya Abbas, I wish you could have answered his call on that day, Ya Abbas. My heart breaks thinking of you, awaiting your fate, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas, Ya Abbas. I wish you could have answered his call on that day. My heart breaks thinking of you, awaiting your fate. I swear by Zahra we shall not forget your pain, Ya Abbas. I wish you could have answered his call on that day. My heart breaks thinking of you, awaiting your fate. I swear by Zahra we shall not forget your pain, your pain, your pain.
I swear from my birth to my grave, and swear by God's creation, I was made only a slave for the ship of salvation, for the one whose blood fell like rain. Why should my blood not fall too? I'll raise my sword and shout Hussein, for you my vow I'll renew. I'll beat my chest, I'll never rest, all of my life I'd say your name beats in my heart, the truth so clear. Even though we're apart, you're always near. Labbaik, labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah. Labbaik, labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah. All my days I give in your name, serving you my desire. In me burns an eternal flame. You've set my soul on fire. For the one who gave all he had, why should I not give all of me? I'm proud his love's made me go mad. Without him I would not be. I'll shout Hussein once and again, all that I have on his behalf. Knowing you is true wealth, you've made me rich. To reach your holy shrine is all I wish. Labbaik, labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah. Labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah. And when I dream of Karbala, you're standing there on your own. I hear the screams of Zahra. I'm here, you're not alone. For the one whose chest was broken, why should I not beat my chest? I'll cry till my eyes stop working. From this blessing I won't rest. give my heart for Karbala. All of my years I'll shed my tears, and when I close my eyes I see your land. Under Karbala skies with you I'll stand. Labbaik, labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah. Labbaik, labbaik, ya Aba Abdillah.
Karbala, as I step onto your sands, you capture my eyes. Karbala, I see heaven has been placed here beneath your skies. Karbala, I feel the darkness of grief within me arise. Karbala, I feel my heart heavy with my wails and cries. Karbala, and finally opposite me, your pure shrine lies. All my life I've lived, now I meet my demise. Karbala, I shed my tears wondering what I have been. I come to you dressed in all my lies and sin. I can't bear, oh forgive her. Now I'm here in Karbala, 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 Karbala. Why do you hold such memories? Ashura, always full of mysteries. Ashura, always full of mysteries. Karbala, why do you hold such memories? Ashura, starts with morning. Muharram is our beginning. The season's tears are flowing. Our Imam, we are condoling. Our new year starts with morning. Muharram is our beginning. The season's tears are flowing. Our Imam, we are condoling. Karbala, what precious blood was spilled there. Ashura, Al-Hussein was murdered here. Ashura, Al-Hussein was murdered here. Karbala, why do you hold such memories? Ashura, always full of mysteries. Ashura, always full of mysteries. My master, have you seen what exchange there was between Abbas, Zainab and Hussein, if only present you had been. My master, but seen what exchange there was between Abbas, Zainab and Hussein. If only present you had been. Karbala, scene of our calamity. Ashura, days of our catastrophe. Ashura, days of our catastrophe. Karbala, why do you hold such memories? Ashura, full of mysteries. Ashura, always full of mysteries. When I hear the name of Abbas and I remember his story, when he went to the Euphrates to confront all the enemies. When I hear the name of Abbas and I remember his story, when he went to the Euphrates to confront all the enemies. Karbala, my hero, you took from me. Ashura, you slaughtered his family. Ashura, you slaughtered his family. Karbala, why do you hold such memories? Ashura, always full of mysteries. Ashura, always full of mysteries. Ya Hujjat Allah, I have one more reason to retell you, but I lack the words to say what terrible action will do. Ya Hujjat Allah, I have one more reason to retell you, but I lack the words to say what terrible action did. Karbala, grave of the Imam Hussein. Ashura, the time I relive his pain. Ashura, the time I relive his pain. Karbala, why do you hold such memories? Ashura, always full of mysteries. Ashura, always full of mysteries. Karbala. I remember losing so many Abbas, Akbar and Qasim's body, your two sons On and Muhammad, their final words echo to me. Their final words echo to me. How did I bring them back to you? Not a tear was shed by you, but you just looked up to the sky. This is my sacrifice, you said. This is my sacrifice, you said. But at home when their memories return, be sure to Karbala you turn. With my head on a spear I cry. With my head on a spear I cry. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya I recall the first time that I died was holding Akbar for the last time. Then came the death of my 6th month. I lost both my sons at one time. I lost both my sons at one time. Now when you come to bury me, please bring my asghar to me. My chest the baby will lie. I will cradle him peacefully. I will cradle him peacefully. Then at my feet let Akbar rest. I remember that dagger in his chest. With my head on a spear I cry. With my head on a spear I cry. Ya Zainab, 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 Ya Zainab. The enemies were torn through Qiyya, delivering my head on a tray. I felt her hands upon my cheeks. Her story she went on to say. Her story she went on to say. Oh, the slaps upon her face, leaving her bruises in its place. She would turn to Najaf and cry, Ya Ali, take me from this place. Crying to Ali just like I taught her. Unfold on my daughter. With my head on a spear I cry. With my head on a spear I cry. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. I saw you in pain that dark night when my daughter cried out for me. She ran into the battlefield. That's when you found her next to me. That's when you found her next to me. Zainab, you showed such loyalty. She was my rose to my heart, the key. Till today you've kept your promise. Even in death together you're seen. You lay together side by side. Our mother looks at you with pride. With my head on a spear I cry. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا I long for بين الحرمين. My heart is with Abbas and Hussein. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. My journey from here starts between the moon and the stars. 'Tis that I cry on my cheeks, crying for your dome it seeks. My master, come see these tears, come and save me from my fears. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna. I hear Zainab crying out, oh Zawar, I am alone. No Abbas and no Hussein. Visitors, you ease my pain. March on towards Karbala. I'll also visit from Sham. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. As I walk, this mother cries, in Karbala my son lies. Oh lovers, I am Zahra, I'll also come from afar. My tears will flow from Baqi to Furat, though can't you see? Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. From Baqi another wails, severed his arms on that day. I raised my son for Ashura, he was the prayer of Zahra. My name is Ummul Baneen, my love no less seen. Tears of blood from above the rain, crying for Mawla Hussein. Tears of blood from above the rain, crying for Mawla Hussein. From upon the 12th one's cheek, to avenge Asghar he seeks. My Imam, for you we weep, our yearning for you runs deep. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. Love and tears are my fuel, marching with them towards you, but a drop in the million sea. Oh Hussein, acknowledge me. I've walked on Karbala's floor to throw myself at your door. I long for Bainul Haramain. My heart is with Abbas and Hussein. Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala, Karbala, Allahumma rzuqna Karbala. Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya 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 Karbala.
Mother, forgive me, for I no longer live, but I gave till nothing left there was to give. For brother Hussein I gave my left and right. Oh mother, for Hussein I gave my eyesight.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala.
I gave my rights, for I was his right-hand man. When all left Hussein, with Hussein I would stand. I gave him my left, I promised to give all. I refused to see before me Hussein fall.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala.
With an arrow to my eye, I could still see. Like Zainab, I still saw nothing but beauty. They rejoiced at my pain, but did they not know? For Hussein, on death itself, myself I throw.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala.
They hit me with a pole, my balance I lost. No arms to support, from my horse I was tossed. But mother, despite everything that they took, still to Master Hussein with guilt I would look.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala.
More I wanted to offer, I was not done. For me the battle hadn't even begun. But mother, forgive me, to me death had come. How could I leave when when Hussein hadn't yet won.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala.
Mother, though in my grave you have my support, continue my mission for which I had fought. Mother, for forgiveness I ask you again, for I departed and alone stands Hussein.
Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala.
Hussein, 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 Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Assalamu मजलूम हुसैन ये जलती रेती पे करबला के ये फातिमा के बैन मेरे बेकस ए मेरे प्यासे ए मेरे तन्हा हुसैन شهيد كربلا أحرق منك الخباء يا صريعا في العراء يا وريث الاتقياء يا سليل الأنبياء was the ultimate stand. You دما مولا دما مظلوم حسین با کربلا که پگر مرگ و فاطمه و جاریدا دما بیک از در و ریز و کاسای دما تنها حسین तुझा है या मुझे दिल में फकत आई तुझी तस्वीर हुसैन Tu es synonyme de liberté qui nous illumine dans l'obscurité. Tu nous as appris ce que signifie servir avec humilité. Tierra acostado.
بكربلاء هل عندكم خبر بقتلانا وما أعلامها؟ ما حال جثة ميت في أرضكم؟ بقي ثلاثا لا يزار مقامها. بالله هل رفعت جنازته؟ هل صلى صلاة الميتين إمامها؟ بالله هل وريتموها بالثرى؟ وهل استقرت باللحود رمامها؟ لو تنحني نفسي لجسم عفرت أوصاله فتعفرت آلامها. نفسي عليه تضم أوجع الأسى. ملء الزمان حبيبها وغرامها. والآن عاد على التراب مبضعا وعليه تحتدم الخطوب عظامها. أبكي وهل أبكي لصدر رضه خيل العدا وجثت عليه ضرامها. أبكي على الجسم العفير ولم يعود إلا لترتسم الشجون تمامها. بأبي الذي لم تنفرج قسماته إلا وزينب في الرياح قوامها. قالت أيا هذا الذي أنا أرتجي ولن تمجمع همتي ونظامها ولن تناموس الإباء ونسمة علوية رفت لها أعلامها. أفديك أنت على التراب موزع وعليك تختبط الخيول لعامها. أنا أسمع تكسير الضلوعن التي كسرت وأوجهنا يسيل حمامها. وإذ انبرى سهم لقلبك صده قلبي فثلث مهجتي ظلامها. قم للنساء وللصغار تصونها بإباك يحفظ يا حسين الحسين ظما يا نازلين بكربلاء هل عندكم خبر بقتلانا وما أعلامها
Look يا زهرة and saw someone approaching, one who would join her in her grieving. She had come to see her progeny and what had become of their destiny. But she could not let her to go closer. She did not want her to really see. I do not want you to go further. You will only see pain and horror. Body with no head, 72 dead. Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. When Fatima came to Karbala, Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. Before you were born, my loving daughter, I was shown this by your grandfather. He told me what was to be for my son and how it would be a tragedy. My brother told me of this well. I knew what was to become of me, but even then I could not stand witness when I saw Shimmer walking to him. My mother, you cannot bear to see what they did to his broken body. Arrow in his heart, liver ripped apart. Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. When Fatima came to Karbala, Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look ya Zahra. Oh mother, when he stood and addressed the people who had now turned on him, he cried and shed the bitterest of tears. I never saw such a thing from him. My brother, you who define what is brave, How can I stand to see you dying? I cry not for what shall happen to us, but that the cause of their doom is me. Even in this final moment, he could only think of their torment. How could they kill him? He came to help them. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Fatima came to Karbala. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Then her mother's eyes began to wander. Another body she had to see. A new grave had been dug in the morning. A young infant in that was buried. There lay the young son of Hassan, and next to him the older Ali. But it was Ali Asghar she came to, the one they killed in his father's arms. What was the sin of this poor child? When the arrow hit, he had wailed. He cried, I'm thirsty, had they no mercy? Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. When Fatima came to Karbala, said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Another had now joined them in their pain. She had also lost her only sons. Fatima held her hand and led the way to the river she wanted to go. Zainab knew what for they had gone searching. Her noble brother they could not see. His arms would show and lead them to him, where there lay the rest of his body. He went to bring back for us water. Then we heard a shout, oh my brother. We saw the flag fell, that was the farewell. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. When Fatima came to Karbala, Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra. Go back, oh mother, they've killed my brother. Zainab said, do not look, Ya Zahra.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, I'll give my life and soul just to get to Karbala.
Let's go, brother, to the land of Abba Abdullah. Go and pack your bags, let's reach the land of Karbala. We cannot be late, we must go and catch our flight. Soon we'll be under the dome of Karbala's great night. This is Arba'in, let's go do the Arba'in. This is Arba'in, let's go do the Arba'in of our Imam Hussein. Let's perform the Arba'in.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala. Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, I'll give my life and soul just to get to Karbala.
Come and let us visit our first beloved Imam. Do ask him for our safety through the path of Islam. The start of our journey we walk past Wadi Salam. This is the biggest graveyard in the whole of mankind. Walk, walk, brother, walk. Don't get tired, you can walk. Walk, walk, brother, walk. Don't get tired, you can walk. The angels do record, and God will give us reward.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala. Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, I'll give my life and soul just to get to Karbala.
Look at all of these servants of Imam al-Hussein, giving water to the walkers of he who was slain. In the whole world this is the most generous event. People, let us stay with them so that we can lament. Thank you, oh Allah, for this blessing, oh Allah. Thank you, oh Allah, for this blessing, oh Allah. For my heart to be near, so close to our Amir.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala. Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, I'll give my life and soul just to get to Karbala.
Did you know every step we take gives us big blessings? 1,000 deeds we get and 1,000 removed sins. We have now reached the blessed land of our third leader. We ended in the land of heaven of our teacher. Labbaik Hussein, I am here for you Hussein. Labbaik Hussein, I am here for you Hussein. Every year inshallah I'll come walking to Hussein.
Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala. Walking to Karbala, from Najaf to Karbala, I'll give my life and soul just to get to Karbala.
زلجنا أقبل من الميدان زلجنا أقبل من الميدان خالي وولاي وحسينا زلجنا أقبل من الميدان خالي وولاي وحسينا أيوة غريبة وحسينا أيوة مظلومة وحسينا أيوة شهيدة وحسينا. Horse of my father, where has he gone? Horse of my father, where has he gone? You took him with you, now you're alone. Don't you know I'm his young
On his chest I sleep, no worry or fear. On his chest I sleep, no worry or fear. Now on hot sand lays my father dear. Oh father, how will I now sleep? Why do they slap me when for you I weep? Jannah أقبل من الميدان علي وعلاه وحسينا. جناه أقبل من الميدان علي وعلاه وحسينا. أيوة غريب وحسينا، أيوة مظلوم وحسينا، أيوة شهيد وحسينا. Janawaya, you covered in blood. Janawaya, you covered in blood. Is this the blood of Fatima's son? Why can I hear Zainab's wails and cries? Why is the sky dark? Has my father died? Janawaya. If you cannot bring my father to me, if you cannot bring my father to me, take me to him so his face I can see. I want to tell him how they've hurt me, to show him the bruises on my stabbed cheeks. Jannah أقبل من الميدان علي وولاه وحسينا. جناه أقبل من الميدان علي وولاه وحسينا. أيوة غريب وحسينا، أيوة مظلوم وحسينا، أيوة شهيد وحسينا.
I wake up to find you have left, oh Father. My tears drip down and they flow like a river. Please come back, I ask you by our Creator. I have never been away from you ever. I miss your scent and kiss, oh son of Haidar. And I miss the sweet name of your mother. You've given me this name, and you I do not blame. Your mother, she loved you, and my love is the same. You've given me this name, and you I do not blame. Your mother, she loved you, and my love is the same. Your words I want to hear. You leave me with my tears, and leave my heart broken, and leave my heart broken. You take all the children, you take all the women. So why did you leave me and leave my heart broken? You leave me alone here, you leave me with my tears, and leave my heart broken, and leave my heart broken. I stand stand and wait at my door for your return. You left me but took all the other children. With every passing day I feel my heart burn. I long to kiss you, your warmth is what I yearn. You are my rose, my flower and my without Hussein, to who am I left to turn? I'm surrounded by night, Father, you are my light. I live in a shadow without hearing or sight. I'm surrounded by night, Father, you are my light. I live in a shadow without hearing or sight. I long to hold you near. You leave me with my tears and leave my heart broken, and leave my heart broken. You take all the children, you take all the women.